Good morning, bon matin. Parasha VAYETSE, part 1, Shishi. ויקום יעקב, וישא את בניו ואת נשיו על הגמלים, וינהג את כל מקנהו ואת כל רכושו אשר רכש מקנה, קניינו אשר רכש בפדן ארם לבוא אל יצחק, אביו ארצה כנען. So, here we see that Yaakov stood up. Unlike the other parasha that we're going to study later on, Vayeshev Yaakov, which was detrimental to him, here Yaakov stood up to do a mitzvah. What mitzvah was that? No, it was not to escape from Lavan. It was to do kibud avaim. Vayakom Yaakov vayisad banav ved nashav al hagemalim. He took his kids, his wife, and then left with the camels. He took all his riches, all that he commanded, all that he won and earned. Lavo el Yitzchak, to come to Yitzchak, Aviv, his father, Adza Canaan, and Israel. It was his time for Yaakov to come back. When Yitzchak was in his older days, Yaakov wanted to do kibud av vaem. Another commentary that mentions why Yaakov decided to leave Lavan all of a sudden is that Yaakov noticed that Lavan changed a bit. And the Rabbanim Chachamim ask, he was with Lavan 22 years. Now he just notices that Lavan changed a little bit. In reality was that Yaakov wasn't as bothered as he was. He became, in a way, habituated to Lavan's Ramaut. So Yaakov said, enough is enough. It's time to go home to see my father. And that's why he took everybody, his kids, his wife, all his riches, to go to see his father. The mitzvah of kibud avaim that Esav did so greatly while Yaakov was in Padan Aram, Yaakov came to Yitzchak in his elder years to accomplish that mitzvah. There's a nice story that I heard from a shiur of Rabbi David Peretz, and he mentions of a father with a little boy. They're in the streets, and the boy sees an older man begging for money. So the son asks his father to give him a little few dollars, So he gives him a few dollars. The dad goes, and the son goes to the elder man, and he goes to the man, and he gives him $2-3. He's like, "Thank you very much, my grandson." The kid just looks at the older man. He's like, "Did you just call me grandson?" He's like, "Yes, I'm your grandfather. I'm the father of your father." He's like, "Then how come you're here? How come you're alone on the street? You're old. You're weak. How come you're not home?" "Because your father had me in his home, but I had trouble, and I would drop everything on the floor, and I wouldn't be able to control myself. So he ran me out from the house. He ran me out of the house. So from then, times were tough. And I'm here now, unfortunately." He's like, "Oh, I can't believe it." So the son really felt bad. He tried to give him as much, but he didn't have. He's like, "Is there anything I could do?" The grandfather said, the pauper said, "If you can, I'm cold. If you could bring me a coat." The kid said, "I'll do everything I can." That same day, when they go home, the son sees his father, and he's like, "Daddy, how come grandfather is outside? How come grandfather is on the street begging for money?" He's like, "It's a long story. I don't have time." And he too long story. What does he want? He's like, he needs a coat. He's very cold, Daddy. I want to give him a coat. Okay, go to the attic. I'm sure you'll find a coat there. And just give it to him. I'm too busy right now. So the son goes in the attic, and he's looking and searching and searching and looking and searching. And the dad is like, "Hello, how long does it take to get a coat? Come on, let's go. Come on, move it. And the son takes his time. The son sees a coat and he looks at it. He takes a scissors and he cuts it in half. And he hears his father, "Come on, son, how long does it take you to get a coat?" The boy comes down with the coat. And the father is like, "What are you doing? What did you do to the coat?" And the son with chokhmah, kibud avaim. It's a vicious cycle. He's like, "Daddy, I saw this coat. I saw the condition that this coat is in. I said, I'm going to cut it in two." He's like, "Why would you do that?" "Well, one half I'm going to give it to grandfather. And the other half, I'll keep it for you when you're going to be old." And the father fell on the floor. This is to teach you the cycle of life. And I always said it, we're born a baby, we die a baby. We're born a baby, and we have our father and our mother that take care of us. Whether we're sick, they stop work, they come. Whether we wake up in the middle of the night, it's never, "I'm too busy," or "I have to rest for tomorrow." We still woke up. We still wake up to give you the bottle, to change you. When you have to go to school, we don't tell you walk in the snow. We bring you. Even though we're busy, we break our day to take care of our kids. That day will come where the kids will become the fathers of their own father. Meaning the father, as he gets older, the father, as he gets weaker, becomes a kid. And the child becomes the father. And when the older father is going to ask for something, "I can't ask my son, he's too busy in the office, making money, running around with the kids." Well, when your father was young and you were a child, did your father ever tell you, "I'm not waking up at 4 a.m. to feed you because I have to go to the office"? He would wake up. Same thing for you. Kibud avayim, the 5th commandment of the Torah. Very important. And Esav, we know, we're going to study later on, his head rolled into Me'arat HaMachpelah. And the commentaries explain that because he did the Kibud avayim to perfection. ולבן הלך לגזוז את צונו, ותגנוב רחל את הטרפים אשר לאביה. ויגנוב יעקב את לב לבן הארמי, ולי הגיד לו כי בורח הוא. ויברחו בכל אשר לו, ויקום, ויעבור את הנהר, וישם את פניו הר הגלעד. ויוגל ללבן ביום השלישי, כי ברח יעקב. So now Lavan only notices 3 days after that Yaakov disappeared. Yaakov disappeared, he escaped during the night. Because he knew if he would have left during the day and Lavan would have known, he would have sequestered his wives. He would have sequestered his daughters. Lavan's daughters who are Yaakov's wife. And he would have made Yaakov a hostage in his home. So he had to escape. He had no choice. He had no choice. And again, we learn from Moshe Rabbeinu. I'm not going to ruin it. When it's time to do a mitzvah, you have to do it right away. First intention of Yaakov Avinu, the first priority, top priority, was in the Pasuk. Lavo el Yitzchak Aviv, Arza Canaan. You don't wait. You go right away. So Lavan, how did he know that Yaakov was missing? It's because the water in the well wasn't going up. When Yaakov was there, everything that he touched, Yaakov became gold. Everything that he touched, it made money. And when Lavan saw that the water wasn't going up from the well, because Yaakov would come, the water would go up by itself, and it would be so easy to pick up the water. Now the water stayed down. When they would drop the pails and the bowls and everything, there wasn't even water. And then he notices that his terafim are missing, his idols are missing, and Rachel took those idols. So we're gonna pass through the story. Lavan runs after Yaakov, reaches him in the 7th day, and of course Lavan crying, he's like, "How come you left?" and this, And my daughters, I didn't even have a chance to say bye and to give them gifts and to bless them, which he did later on. But he was a Rammaut. He was a conniving, deceiving liar. Lavan's intention, as it is written in the Haggadah, צא ולמד מה ביקש לבן הארמי לעשות ליעקב אבינו. What did Lavan want to do? Lavan wanted to kill Yaakov. Lavan wanted to kill his grandkids because he knew that Bnei Israel was being formed in the desert. Until Hashem Yitbarach Shemo La'ad came into Lavan's dream and said, you will not touch Yaakov, or else. But again, the intention of Lavan was to kill Yaakov, was to kill the Shvatim, was to kill Israel. That's why we say in the Agadah, Tse ulmad ma bikesh Lavan Arami. Ask what Lavan Arami Ratza wanted to do to Yaakov. It was to kill. And Yaakov, he doesn't want anything from Lavan. From Arasha, you don't want anything. Like we say from the bee, I don't want your honey and I don't want you to sting me. But for the Teraphim, that's where the story turns. When Lavan asked Yaakov, why did you steal my Teraphim? And Yaakov said, why would I steal them? You could check, you could verify. Let me check 1 second, one here. I'll be back in a second. I'm back. So like I was saying, Lavan accused Yaakov to stealing, and Yaakov says these words. Im asher timsa et Elohecha lo yihyeh. If you find your gods, your idols, that person that took them shall not live. And who was that person? Rachel Imenu. Rachel took those teraphim and she hid them. She had a very good intention, but again, the words of tzaddikim carry a very big weight. And Yaakov, he was so sure of himself that nobody from his tribe, from his clan would steal such a thing, that he said something that he shouldn't have said. Al tiftach picha lasatan. And we saw that with Yitzchak, and Yaakov does the same mistake. The teraphim, just for you to know, it's not little idols. It's something pretty interesting that I read. And how are the teraphims made? This is interesting. They take, in Spanish, we say un primogénito, a primal being. He's dead. You cut off his head. They would salt his head, remove all the blood. Then what they would do is they would put incense in perfume. They would put it on a tablet because you would hang it. They were called house gods. You would hang it in your house. Underneath the tongue, you would put a coin with names of bad angels. You would put it underneath the tongue. And every time you would ask him questions, the teraphim would answer back. Should I do this in the business? No, you should not. Should I invest in this? Yes, you should. And Lavan every single day would depend on these teraphim to make business moves. So these were teraphims, again, they were not little beings or little objects. They were pretty big. Again, you could hide them because Rachel hid them. But just to explain it to you that they were heads of deceased primal beings with a coin underneath their tongue that would talk when asked a question. The Ibn Ezra says another thing, that they were clocks with seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, very precise clocks with colors and different quadrants. And Lavan would be able to know the mazal of each and every moment, of each and every people, and he would use it to make money. But again, once again, the words of Yaakov Avinu really hurt, because when Rachel begot Binyamin, she passed away. So in all, Yaakov Avinu escaped Lavan to go to Yitzchak, to his father, to do kibud avahem. And it is written also that Yaakov one point had enough with Lavan, because Lavan says he checked every bag, the bag of Yaakov, the bag of Rachel, Leah, Shifra, Pua, every bag, to see if he indeed found the terafim. And then Vayichar li Yaakov vayarev belavan vayan Yaakov vayomer elama ma pish'i ma chatati ki dalakta. What did I do? What did I do wrong? How did I sin? How did I do you? But everything that I did for you. Everything that I made, you stole from me. You changed my salary 100 times, and I didn't say a word. So why are you against me? And I'll end it with a nice story of Rabbi Moshe al-Sheikh from Tzfat. Rabbi Moshe al-Sheikh was a very, very big Kabbalist, and even the Ari would listen, the Ari Agadol would listen to his shiurim. So one Shabbat, he was talking about Parashat VAYETSE, and he was talking about the 100 times that Lavan changed Yaakov's purse, that Yaakov is salary. And when this Rabbi Moshe al-Sheikh would speak, the shiur didn't come from books, they came from Hashem, from the angels. And he started talking, and he's like, okay, and a parasha, we know that Lavan changed 100 times Yaakov's salary. Number 1, he changed it this way. Number 2, when he said this, he changed it the other way. Number 3, he changed it because he said this, but then he meant this. He explained every single change to perfection. The crowd was in awe. The crowd, because there were crowds and crowds just to listen to Rabbi Moshe al-Sheikh. Even Ari Agadol was there. When he reached to number 98, the Ari started laughing. The Ari was on the floor laughing, and everybody was like, what's going on? What's going on? Afterwards, after the shiur, they asked the Ari, how come you laughed? And the Ari answered, because when Rabbi Moshe al-Sheikh was giving that shiur, that chidush, Hashamayim, the neshama of Lavan Arami was in the synagogue. The neshama of Lavan was listening one point after the other. And he would answer, yes, I did that. Yes, I did that. And yes, and yeah. And he would approve every single statement that Rabbi Moshe al-Sheikh was saying, except for 98. At 98, the Ari HaKadosh sees Lavan, and he's like, no, that I didn't do. But if I could, I would still do it. And that's why the Ari HaKadosh started laughing, because even after his death, Lavan was still a Ramai, and he would still try to, in a way, screw Yaakov Avinu. So this is the course for today. Next, we're going to go back to VAYETSE. We're going to go back to the beginning. We'll talk about other things, Rachel, Leah, the dream, and much more. So enjoy your day.